All right, back to government. Let's talk about progressive reforms in government because this is probably some of the biggest reforms that happen outside of the society and culture reforms. Although I feel like we didn't cover cultural or social reforms. I don't know what happened to those slides. I have to go back and do that. Political reforms. We all know the political parties are corrupt and undemocratic, especially in the Gilded Age. They're buying things, you're working on the spoil systems. We need to do something. And we really want to diminish the power of these parties. We want to take the power away from the big boss, right? Like our boss tweets. And we want to give this power back to the public. We want them to have more say in decision making, more voting, more positions that go to elected officials and not assigned officials. And a lot of these reforms are going to be introduced by Governor Robert La Follette of Wisconsin. And rightfully so, it will be called the Wisconsin idea. So, he comes up with the idea of the initiative where voters propose laws. Who better to come up with a law than the people who the law is going to affect? So, how do you get a voter initiative to propose a law? Well, it's simple. You come up with this idea, you say, I think this should be a law. You go out and you get either a popular vote or a legislator vote. You just petition. And then when you get 15% of a voter's signatures, then you can put this idea up for vote. It's easy, right? That makes sense. Why didn't we do that before? Who knows? He also comes up with the idea of a referendum, which means that just like you can vote to enact or create a law, you can vote to eliminate a law. So if you want a referendum, you circulate a petition that asks to eliminate a law. And the requirements for this referendum is that you need 10 to 15% of a voter's signature on the petition. And then you will submit that to popular vote. And if enough people vote against the law, then it will no longer be a law. He also comes up with the idea of a recall, which is probably horrifying to the men in government at the time because the recall says that voters can remove a public official from office. We're not talking like the president, we're talking like mayors and governors. And oh my goodness gracious, if the people can take us out of office, you might actually have to work for the people now. So how does a recall work? It's not as easy as like, oh, I don't like this guy, let's get him out. You need 10 to 30% of signatures to say that you want to hold a new vote. The man or woman, but at the time man, who is currently holding the office is put back up to vote against somebody else. If the person holding office is not reelected, then they are removed. If they win, they keep their job. So it doesn't necessarily automatically recall you from office. It's simply saying if you are messing up enough that the people don't like you, they can put you up for a vote and say maybe we should put somebody else in your place. And then it's up to the people to vote on it. These progressive reforms in state government are going to increase citizens' ability to participate in everyday government. And they're going to change lots of other things too. They're going to make a secret ballot. So your vote is protected in secret. Nobody gets to read it when you cast it. They can no longer tell you, hey, you better vote for this guy or we're going to come after you. Again, we've got the initiative, referendum, and recall, which gives you a lot more power. We're also going to see a switch to direct primaries where the people choose the party's candidate. It's no longer candidates decide they want to run for government and somebody else picks them. Now you get a list of, okay, these 4 people would like to run for president as the Democratic candidate. The people get to vote out of those 4, and whoever wins the top spot is presented as the Democratic candidate, assuming that's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. We also get the 17th Amendment, which is passed in 1913. The 17th Amendment says that senators are to be chosen directly by the people, not by state legislatures. So before the 17th Amendment, we did not vote for our senators. They were chosen by the state legislature. Now we vote on them. In 1919, we get the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote. We also get civil service tests, which I'm not sure if we talked about this in the last unit, but I do think we did, which says that you have to pass a written test to qualify for your job. You can't just have a job because you gave the guy in charge some money. You actually have to prove that you have the skills to do the job. We are going to see improving factory conditions through government labor reforms, thanks to the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. And we're going to get child labor laws, which says that children must be 14 years of age to go to work unless they are working for a family business or a farm. We do have some good reforms there, and we do have some not so good reforms there. I'm not really sure. We did seem to skip over the societal reforms, so we will have to go back and revisit real quick Jane Hall and reforming society. I don't know how we skipped that, but we did.